I think I should have written a shorter bio. All right. Okay. So my name is Susan Gregg. I have a bucket list. And no, I'm not dying. I am just a goal setter. In 2006, you might be familiar with the movie The Bucket List. It starred Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. And there were two men who had terminal cancer, and they went around the world accomplishing things that they wanted to do before they kicked the bucket. Now, my daughter's teacher had his class watch that movie, and then they had to create their own list of 100 items. I was so inspired by my daughter's list. Visit a concentration camp was one of them. I decided I would do the same. So I want to tell you about how my bucket list has changed my life, how I've accomplished some goals, and things that I've learned along the way. This is one of the items on my bucket list, have dinner with Michael Bublé. I've learned that accomplishing a goal can be very subjective. I could put his DVD on and have dinner. I could go to a fundraiser and have dinner with 200 other people, or maybe he'll watch this and have pity on me. But anyway, however it happens, it doesn't matter. I'll have a good time. I have every confidence. I will stand, watch the sunrise on the pyramids. I will stand on an Alp and yell, Ricola. I might buy a sari on Main Street, or it might have to wait till I actually go to India and watch the sunrise. Another really good example of this is own a big dog, number 32. I had in mind a strawberry retriever. Now, when my 80-pound Vizsla jumped on me a couple weeks ago, crushed my chest, and put his head right in my face, I realized I've actually accomplished this. It wasn't what I had in mind, but it's certainly, I love him, and he certainly fits the bill of a big dog. You know, it's interesting. Experts say that once you write something down, your whole mind starts to work on it, and this is the case with number 140, learn archery. Now, I don't know anything about archery, save for a girlhood crush on Robin Hood. But as soon as I wrote this down, I was walking along Columbia Street, and I saw a guy with a bow on his shoulder, and I thought, what is going on here? And then I realized I've been driving by the archery and museum store for 15 years, and I've never noticed it. So your mind really does work at things once you write things down, and I now know where to go when I want to learn archery. You know, okay. In 2010, I was working at BC Children's Hospital. I had a job that I absolutely loved. I was a parent who had been hired to look after the needs of patients and families. And I wrote down number 239, quit my job to paint and write full time. This was a long, far off goal. It was like a retirement goal. But as time went on, my job became harder. My children started to remind me of my daughter, Brenna, who'd passed away in 1997. And before long, it just got tougher and tougher. So I was eventually diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and depression and had to go on medical leave. I thought I would get over it in a couple of weeks. 1 month stretched into 3, and I realized I couldn't go back to that environment. I thought, okay, well, I'll get a job at Royal Columbian, or I'll go somewhere else, until I looked at my bucket list. Number 239, quit my job, paint and write full-time, stared back at me, and I thought, how is it actually possible for me to do this? I can't just quit my job. It didn't make sense. But I talked to friends, I researched on the internet, and eventually I came up with an idea. I asked myself, if I could do anything that I wanted and I wasn't afraid to fail, what would I do? And that's when the concept of an inclusive art studio came into being. All that homework I had done really paid off, because within a few months, I had a business plan, I had financing, and on March 1st of 2014, I took possession of a 5,600 square foot warehouse here in New West. This is 100 Braid St Studios, an inclusive art studio that we have window walls that allow visitors to look into artist studios. It's a really incredible place. A lot of galleries are kind of intimidating places, but 100 Braid Street demystifies art, and it's a funky space. We do a lot of classes, parent and taught, art appreciation for kids. We have a rentable photography studio, fun paint nights, and as you'll see, we have a splatter room where both children and adults can let out their inner Jackson Pollocks. One of the best things about Braid Street is that we are a wedding and event venue. This is one of the best events, I think, at the studio. This was our daughter's wedding, which happened in September. So that's I get to wipe away the tear as the proud mother of the bride. One of the other facets of my life that I've been able to incorporate into the studio is the world of disability and special needs. I'm so happy to host Artism, a spectrum of creativity. My good friend and fellow artist, Cliff Blank, he's the founder of the program, and we have now art classes for children and adults with autism and special needs. Sometimes when you have an item on your bucket list, you might need to adjust it. My goal, number 239, to quit my job and write and paint full-time, just didn't sit right with me. We opened the doors and I thought, I can scratch off the part about quit my job, but I don't want to write and paint full-time anymore. That's not my goal. I wanted to be surrounded by a community of creatives and paint and write when I wanted. So I changed it, and I crossed it off. Having a bucket list can really help you stay focused when you come to a crisis or a point in your life when you need to make some changes. That's what it did for me, and I'm so glad that I had it. It made a lot of sense. I have over 300 other items on my bucket list. I don't know if I'm going to accomplish them all, and to be honest, it doesn't matter, but I do know this. Having something written down, there's an 80% chance that I'm actually going to accomplish it. You don't have to be dying to have a bucket list. I want to challenge each and every one of you. When you go home tonight, write down 10 things that you want to do before you kick the bucket. Review your list from time to time. Add to it if you find something that sparks you. Because I can guarantee you, from my personal experience, you can turn your dreams into goals and your goals into realities. Thanks.